I think it was like 2001. I bumped into this kid, Lou Gianfrido. He used to work for the office. He yelled at him. He goes, I just want you to know, Chief brought your name up a lot in production meetings. He goes, but Pat would always shoot it down. I go, you think I need to know that now, Lou? What good comes of that telling me that now? How do you think I'm going to walk away thinking, well, why would you tell me something? I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So
You brought the name Pat Patterson up. What can you tell me about Pat?
Pat had his click. Pat Patterson was a genius. What a wrestling mind. He taught me so much. And I'm talking about the slightest things
Right.
that went from boo to boo. I mean, little tiny things. Genius. Morally, one of the worst guys I've ever met. Taking a shower, you got to soap up your hair, right? What do you do when you soap up your hair? You shut your eyes, right? That ice water would come right on your dick. You double over. Like, that was a rib, right? Jerry Allen, who passed away, put so much stress on him that he quit. Pat just kept on him that he quit. And I remember being so mad because I did a Florida trip with Jerry. He was a nice kid. He was from New Haven, Connecticut. He was a nice kid. And I said, that's wrong, Roma. And Roma would say, hey, listen, I don't think you have to do anything. All you have to do is lay on your back and let them play with it for a while if you're interested. I'm not doing that, Roma. Start laughing. The way Roma got away with it is they set him up in Canada. And they kept popping him. Oh, Pat's going to come after you. Pat's going to come after you. Pat's going to want you. Pat was behind him, and Roma didn't know it. He goes, let me tell you something. Any man touches me inappropriately, I'm going to knock them the fuck out. He's screaming. He turns around. He goes, hey, Pat, how you doing? So Pat,
Right.
but Jimmy Powers is another story. Pat
Right.
wanted Powers something fierce. I would talk to Pat the most, starting in 89, especially 90. I really bugged him a lot because that was my 6-year mark, right? So I'm like, I did everything you told me to do. I've done stretcher matches. Anything you've wanted to do, Pat. I've gotten branded by the Funk Brothers, my hair cut by Beefcake. I've had the snake on me. I like you. The office likes you. Just be patient. And that was the only one of the realistic conversations I had with Vince back in 92, 91. I'm like, Vince, how old are you, Mario? In 91, I said, I'm 25. He goes, oh, wow, you're over the hill. I go, Vince, that's not the point. He goes, there's guys in wrestling school that are older than that. I go, Vince, I've been here for 7 years. I started when I turned 18. Now, I talked to Herc. I talked to Bundy. I talked to all these guys. 7 years of paying dues was their high water mark. I paid my dues. Put his hand on my shoulder. I like you. The office likes you. Just be patient. And I walked away and went, wow, that's the line. That's the work line. That's the get out of my face. Kindly. Right? Right. So.
And you're going to Pat Patterson for advice, and he's the guy you find out that was cutting your legs out from under you. That sucks.
Well, Pat, I'll never forget, I was fracture Fransburg. This is one of the things he taught me. I was fractured Fransburg. It was so uncomfortable. Every major radio station in the country, whoever had the biggest market share, had a fractured Fransburg all over the country. I was fractured Fransburg here from, I don't know, Jersey to Maine, a blue mask and an FF on it, blue pants, the right leg said fracture, the left leg said Fransburg, had a blue cape. Freaking radio stations would call me, the station would call me up at freaking 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God. You got to cut the promos for him. You miss a promo. Vince is going to be mad. Okay. He'd call me up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go, Fracture, what are you doing? I'd say, I told you not to bother me. Fracture, what are you having for breakfast? 4 steaks, 2 dozen eggs. Wow, that's a lot of food. It's just a snack. You know, so they it was for a month. They put me with Jose Luis Rivera the whole month. And the finish was a swing and neck breaker. It's actually the shake, rattle, and roll. So the very first night, he missed the elbow. I gave him a slam. I picked him up. I hooked him, gave him a neck breaker. I'm like, how great this would be if I was Mario Mancini. I'm here going over every night.
Right.
Yeah. So I go back, and Pat goes, I'm like, yeah. He's like, tomorrow night? I'm like, yeah. He goes, when you hook him for that neck breaker, go left to right. Go into it. Well, the first time I did it, I got boo. Man, I did that left to right, and I went into that neck breaker like, oh, I'm like, this guy's a genius. Even
Right.
Arnold Skolin, when I was doing like, I don't know, 4 nights with Lanny Poffo, and he was giving me a cross body press off the top rope for the finish. So the first night, I do a big splash. He moves. I get up. And he goes to the top rope. I get up. I start walking to the corner. He hits that flying body press. They're like, hey, Arnold Skolin goes, come here. I said, what, Arnie? He goes, tomorrow night, when you get up, walk backwards. He goes, put your right leg up in the air to spin around. He goes, when you put your right leg up, he's going to take off that top rope. By the time you spin around, he'll meet you right there. And those people popped. I goes, these guys are unbelievable.
Wow.
They're unbelievable. So it's just so now I'm in wrestling school and they're doing the same spot, and the kid's walking toward him like Frankenstein. I go, let me ask you something. You gonna wait for the freight train to hit you, or you think when he comes off that top rope you're gonna move out of the way because you're looking right at him? I go, walk backward. I do an Arnold Skolin,
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my students. I go, I'm not teaching you. Pat Patterson is teaching you. Arnold Skolin's teaching you. Gorilla Monsoon's teaching you. All these Chief J Strongbow's teaching you. All these guys that taught me, they're teaching you now through me. You can Paradise Valley Professional Wrestling.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's our 10th year. We're doing that, and we have a podcast, Hey Roma, that's really taken off. We're really balls out on that podcast. It's not just a professional wrestling podcast. We really dedicate it to the military and first responders, ambulance drivers, firefighters, police, military. My father was in World War II. Roma's father was in the Korean War. We have a great love for this country.
Any social media for yourself you want to give out?
All right, everybody's welcome if they want to friend me on Facebook. You just type in Mario Mancini. You'll see my shoot name there. I am the singing wrestler on TikTok. I don't sing that well, but I do have by now 100 videos of me singing on there. I am the singing wrestler on TikTok. I do have an Instagram, although I don't go on it much. I do have a Twitter. I go on it even less. But I'm a Facebook, TikTok guy for as long as we're gonna have TikTok. So I am the singing wrestler on there. And I'm 57 and single.
Slide into Mario's DMs, ladies.